It was one of those hot summer afternoons when the air felt heavy and still. Sunlight streamed through the windows, and although every fan in the house was running, the heat seemed impossible to escape. I had just returned home from university for summer break. For the weekend, it was only me and my father, Martin, at home. My mother, Karen, had traveled to visit her sister for a few days, leaving us to manage the house together. At first, everything felt normal. Dad and I had always shared a good relationship. He was easygoing, funny, and always knew how to lighten the mood. Since we hadn't spent much time together recently, I was actually looking forward to catching up. We spent the afternoon talking about school, work, and everyday life. As the day went on, however, I noticed something unusual. Dad seemed distracted. He joked more than usual, but there was also a nervous energy about him that I couldn't quite understand. To pass the time, we decided to watch an old drama film. During the movie, I caught him looking thoughtful several times, as if something was weighing heavily on his mind. The atmosphere slowly became tense, though I couldn't figure out why. A knock at the door interrupted the silence. Our neighbor, Mrs. Evelyn, stopped by with a basket of homemade cookies. Her visit briefly lightened the mood, but after she left, the strange feeling returned. Later, Dad finally spoke. "Lily," he said quietly, "there's something I've been wanting to tell the family." His serious tone immediately caught my attention. He explained that he had been dealing with major stress, uncertainty about his future, and concerns he hadn't shared with anyone. For months, he had been carrying those worries alone, pretending everything was fine. Before we could continue the conversation, Mom sent a message saying she would be returning home earlier than expected. When she arrived later that day, everything appeared normal on the surface. We talked, laughed, and carried on as usual. But I knew Dad was still holding on to something important. Over the next several days, life continued as normal, yet an unspoken tension remained. Dad seemed lost in thought, and I often caught him staring into space. It became clear that he was struggling with decisions that could affect the entire family. One evening, after everyone else had gone to bed, we sat together in the living room and talked honestly. For the first time, he opened up about his fears, regrets, and the pressure he had been feeling. Those conversations brought us closer as a family. They weren't easy, but they helped us understand each other better. Then another surprise arrived when Aunt Claire unexpectedly came to stay with us. Her visit filled the house with energy, laughter, and constant activity. While everyone else enjoyed the distraction, Dad and I still knew that an important conversation needed to happen. Eventually, Dad decided he could no longer keep his concerns to himself. One morning, he gathered the family together and shared everything he had been struggling with. The conversation was emotional. There were difficult questions, moments of silence, and even a few tears. But there was also understanding. Mom needed time to process everything, but she listened. For the first time in a long while, the family faced the truth together instead of avoiding it. Although nothing was resolved overnight, that moment changed everything. The secret was no longer hidden, and from that point forward, we could finally begin moving ahead as a family. Thank you for listening to this story. Don't forget to subscribe and explore more stories about life's unexpected challenges and meaningful moments.